Let's get started. Clayton is excused today. Caitlin? Clay's here. Luke? Rachel? Corsi? Aiden? Elijah? Jackson? Ilea? Ty Jones? Going twice. David just walked in. Maynard? Michael Maynard? McCune? Reese? Is that him? No. Maddie? Mendez just walked in. Andrea? Solomon is excused today. Nash? Atticus? Sydney Sexton? Is she on a sports team? Some of the sports people are off today, this week. For now. Skaggs? Luke Thomas? Tucci going twice. Kari? Webb? Jonathan Webb? Best? And Viker. Oh, I think Andrew is also here. But the guy have it set so that it laps around to the beginning when it reaches the end of the list. Did you guys have a lot to drink? I did. My girlfriend declared it Sunday guilt-free day. So I had to serve her a lot of Bloody Marys. Of course, I had some too. I was gonna have Jeopardy for my business Toyota on Monday. I completely forgot to prepare the boards. They were not too unhappy about it. So we're gonna have it on Wednesday. And in retrospect, having a Jeopardy after the Super Bowl probably wasn't a good idea to begin with. Who just walked in? Webb. When you come in late, you announce, because if I don't remember it, it's gonna stay that way until you remind me later on. All right. I posted the Excel file we had last time as January 13 lecture. Let me put that to the top. Obviously, we're gonna modify that, but so if you open that file, we can continue with that one. Yes. My options are losing money. You don't have to remind me. I'm still doing pretty well. You guys have opened it? Those of you who wanted to? All right. We did develop a code for duration of a fixed rate bond, just in case you want to remember. Visual Basic. In fact, we wrote two of them. One of them was fixed bond price. The other was, we also wrote something called IMAC bond, but we use that to calculate iRisk bond. That's simply calculated the percentage change in the price of a bond, given that there was a 1 basis point increase in the yield maturity. Okay? That's what that 1,000 or 10,000 stands for. Remember, 1 of 10,000 is 1% of 1%. Let me try once more to get this thing to be big. Use it. No. Doesn't do it. I don't know why. Today I'm going to add two things for this. One, we're going to calculate something called convexity. It's basically change in the duration. Duration is not a linear function of interest rates. Okay? As interest rates change, it does not stay constant. For example, I already have that here. I know it doesn't look very good. Maybe I should use a different background. Let's see. Yeah, it looks better now. I don't know. Excel has its way of doing colors. I have no control over it. Again, I can see it fine on my screen, but sometimes that doesn't necessarily mean that it's visible fine over there. For example, at 451, duration is basically 29 basis points for a 30-year bond, zero coupon bond. Let's make it a coupon bond. Let's make it, for example, just a par bond. Remember, par bond means coupon rate is exactly the same as yield to maturity. So you would lose, for each basis points move, 0.16% in value. Same bond, if the rates are at 9%, that duration is actually lower. As the rates increase, your interest rate essentially decreases, or as go down, it increases. Right? That also kind of makes sense. Remember, other than dividing the Macaulay duration by 1 plus the yield, duration simply says what is the average maturity, right? Divided by 10,000 to get a percent number. As interest rates go up, what's the biggest cash flow? The face value, right? You know, present value of that comes down a lot faster. Or present value of payments that are far into the future come down a lot faster compared to present value of payments that are in near future. So in a sense, increasing interest rate decreases average maturity. You know, if average maturity decreases, by definition, financial duration, which is our measure of interest rate risk, decreases. So we need to account for that. The reason we need to account for that, if it wasn't for that change, if you wanted to hedge the risk of interest rate risk of a bond, all yet assuming yield curve moved at the same fashion. So if 3-month rates run up by 1 basis points, so did the 30 years. It doesn't always happen that way, but at this level, we're not going to get into that detail. You know, in a graduate class, we would worry about that. If short-term interest rates goes up, so will the long-term interest rates, and that's going to decrease the value of a bond. So if I can come up with an instrument which we're gonna do later in the semester, that would go up in value when short-term interest rates run up. That would be a hedge, and we have such an instrument. We have futures contracts called SOFR futures. In the old days, we used the euro-dollar futures, but that is coupled. It no longer exists because LIBOR is dead. Now we have secured overnight financing rate, which is unnecessarily complicated animal. I mean, it is not difficult, but they just made it too complicated. Instead of showing your left ear like this, you're showing it like this.